Caleb, it seems that we owe a fan base an apology.
We certainly do.
I guess you're going to have to run that intro.
That I do. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Explicitly Unbiased. I'm Caleb. He's Gerardo. We come at you on a Tuesday at 8:20-something in the morning, 7:20-something his time. Monday Night Football ended about, say
about 10 hours ago.
About 10 hours ago or so. We've had a handful of hours to kind of sleep on it, and
Week
really
officially in the books.
Really taste that crow, honestly, was what we were doing.
Yep.
But that's not without some housekeeping going down. We already reviewed week 1. You can kind of see that video. I believe it's up now. Yep. So you can go check that out if you're a fan of the other teams and you don't really want to talk about this Monday Night Football game and you want to hear our takes on your week 1. It's over there on the other video. But today is mostly for Monday Night Football, things that happened yesterday, and trying to lead into week 2. So let's just get right into that. Let's start with the trade that happened yesterday. The Eagles traded a 2026 5th and 6th round pick for Jaguars running back Tank Bigsby. Travis Etienne and Byshell Tootin have confidently beaten him in that backfield, and they just traded the third guy out. The Eagles get a really good backup running back for Saquon Barkley. Gerardo, what do you think of this?
With Gainwell going to, I believe, the Steelers, correct? And they've been needing somebody just to have a nice little backup to Saquon. Tanks Bigsby also kind of fits their mold on that type of offense that they're going to be running with Philly because they're a little bit more power, they're a little bit more strong. So it's just another dude that they're just going to grind teams down with. And we also saw that with the Jaguars. A lot of people kind of had them as 1 and 2, and then seeing that he just became the third string, it was like, oh man, like they're definitely going to move on from him or he's going to get cut by the end of the season. So very good trade. And the fact that you got a decent pick or 2, a 5th rounder is still a relatively good pick for like what RBs are going for nowadays. So I think it's a solid pick after like a really solid, he's barely his second year in the NFL or third year,
I think.
Yep. And you're getting him for a 5th. So solid. You could essentially just draft his replacement with those picks.
Yeah, and poor Will Shipley. He's been demoted. This is year 3 for him. Yep, drafted in 2023. Had an all right 2024 in the absence of Travis Etienne. Rushed for 766 yards and 7 touchdowns. He's not going to get more opportunities here in Philly, but maybe it'll be a good time for him to really develop his game and maybe get another chance at starting somewhere else, because Jags camp, I heard, was kind of brutal for him.
Yep.
Okay, so that's out of the way. The 49ers have suffered a lot of injuries already in week 1 to 2 key players to their success. The first one being George Kittle. He's going to be sidelined several weeks with a hamstring injury. Brock Purdy, also Kyle Shanahan announced, is dealing with a shoulder injury and a toe injury, the toe injury being the more significant of the 2. He may not play this week. It's a kind of up in the air. So do you know who his backup is, Gerardo?
Is it Heineke? No. I wouldn't be able to tell you.
2021 first round pick, Mac Jones. So the people who said that Mac Jones would be just as good as Brock Purdy in a Kyle Shanahan offense, they're probably going to have their chance to be vindicated or proven wrong, as we were on Monday night.
Yes.
49ers injuries, Gerardo, already stacking up. This is not a good sign for them.
This is the biggest concern we had for this team into this season, and the fact that you lose your biggest offensive weapon outside of Christian McCaffrey. Their big reason why they were able to do a lot of good pass action plays. He's a really big threat. I mean, without him on the field, their offense suffers significantly. I do not know if Brandon Ayuk's coming back within week 2. CMC also had that calf strain. He was like, questionable up until game time. So this is, again,
he was hurt like Thursday, and then it's like, oh, is he even going to play?
Yeah.
And
So
EM potentially did, but
if I had $1 for every time the 49ers had an injury problem, I'd be rich. So this is just not looking. I don't know who their medical staff is at this point, but they
no, Kyle
definitely
Shanahan must literally just be throwing medicine balls or like
their
weight
practices
plates
must
at
be
these
that.
guys.
It's either their practices are too hard or they don't practice enough and they just get injured during game time. But it's just another 49er injury, and it's at this point it's becoming a norm.
But I will say they did add another receiver to that group. Just needed some juice. They got
Mhm.
Kendrick Bourne, homecoming for him. Obviously, he had a big year with the Patriots in 2021 in Mac Jones's rookie year. So maybe that connection is able to respark this weekend as they take on the New Orleans Saints in New Orleans.
Which is a great week to have injuries.
Good bounce back.
Yeah, great. The team that a lot of
Get
people
your injuries out of the way now before you go play New Orleans. They have a history of doing things on purpose, Gerardo. If you didn't know, they do have a certain history of injuring players on purpose.
Well, it's a great way to sit out players, especially with the worst team in the league, or arguably one of the worst teams in the league.
For sure. All right, you ready to eat some crow?
Yep, I sure am. I guess we're having crow for breakfast today.
Hope you like the taste of it. I'll start with this. I'll take the bull by the horns here. We obviously were not very high on JJ McCarthy coming into this game. We both picked the Bears to win. And as I'm watching that game, that first half was not good. It wasn't good at all. I don't know if I've ever seen a quarterback look, and I was at work last night with full-fledged. I only watched the extended highlights that the NFL puts out. It's like a 20-minute, 40-minute video. So I didn't catch all of it, but I don't know if I've seen a quarterback more overwhelmed than that in his first start. JJ McCarthy. And that second half, I mean, he was everything that the JJ McCarthy cult has told us he would be. Money in crunch time, making all the throws he needs to, plays with a lot of emotion. It reminded me a lot of Cleveland Browns Baker Mayfield. Plays with a lot of emotion, slow starts, but once he was on and he was playing with emotion, playing with confidence, it was two totally different quarterbacks. And I think you saw that with JJ McCarthy. You saw the money on third down, the money on when he has to throw. He didn't throw a lot, 20 attempts, but he made, I think it was, what's his final stat line? 14 of them.
13 for 20.
13 for 20, 2 touchdowns, 143 yards. It was about as impressive of a less than 150-yard passing game as I thought. And he also had the rushing touchdown to boot. So I thought KOC really was protective of him in that first half, not moving on from the game plan that wasn't working. The ground game wasn't working. The offensive line didn't quite have their footing. And once he kind of let go of the leash a little bit, McCarthy was at his best. So I think you're going to see more of that going forward than that first half of JJ McCarthy. You got the first half, welcome to the NFL moment, out of the way, and now he's going to play Atlanta at home, prime time. I admit I was skeptical, and I shouldn't have been, because he was about as everything as they all said he would be.
Right. I think the big thing was the offensive line improvement that's still a little bit suspect. Same with the run game. I still throughout that game, the Bears defense is a legitimate defense. If their offense was any better for the Bears, I would say that they would probably be top 10, top 5 defensively. They also lost Jalen Johnson. Jalen Johnson didn't play this game as well too for the Bears. But JJ, the biggest criticism that we had with him is because we didn't see any sample size of this in his rookie season, is the fact that he was a reason why the team won. It was a big thing. The big concern I have with him through the draft process is a big concern that I had through his high school recruitment. I never saw any of this until now. I think it was very smart of KOC to move on from that game plan early on. I think you absolutely hit the nail on the head. The fact that they played way too conservative for JJ and should have just utilize the talents that you've seen for over a year. And especially that offense is very, very good, especially when Addison comes back as well, too, just to let it rip and just showcase his talents. If they kept being conservative and they kept babying him, I would be highly concerned for the Vikings fans. But he did everything that we were very critical of him of. And now we have a sample size to actually go forth and to accurately go with JJ down the line. And this is the same level of criticism that I would have for any rookie quarterback coming into the league. I do not have NFL game tape. I have college game tape, and high school tape, which is different than the NFL. Because you can look like a GOAT in college and suck in the NFL, and vice versa. And I'm willing to admit that I was way more pessimistic on JJ on that, but he did everything that I was critical of him to do. And I have now a sample size. So going forth, I saw a fourth quarter comeback. I saw that he was the reason why the team won in multifaceted of the game. It wasn't just passing. It wasn't just making great decisions and also doing the great decisions on his feet too. The big concern that if you were to have as a Vikings fan going forward is the Bears inept, like for the
how much of this game was the Bears giving it to you?
That is the only true criticism that you can hang your hat on that is the Bears should have easily closed out this game. Their lack of inept offense with Caleb Williams still is they should have just really that first half, they should have won by the first half. They could have easily put this team away with all the improvements the Chicago Bears made. That defense is a legitimate defense in the NFL, but the more times that they're on the field and getting beat by JJ McCarthy and them rolling down the field and having those game-winning drives over and over and over again, and you're not putting up points to cushion that defense, they are going to feel some type of way when Caleb is being rolled out on offense, knowing I'm just going to be back here again in about three to five downs. And that is the only concern that I have, because like the other teams in the other team in the division that you would have a concern is the Packers. The Lions, I mean, they did not have a good showing, but for the Vikings, the only concern I have is this run game isn't that good, and this offensive line still has relatively some concerns. They
did not start well.
The offensive line can be fixed later down the season because that's just chemistry. The more times you play with each other, the better you're overall going to perform down the line, and that maybe improve the run game. I think Aaron Jones is not 1,000-yard back anymore. I mean, he already suffered a significant downfall once he left Green Bay going to the Vikings. So that would be the only concern that you would have. And the other thing is when you're playing with emotion, and this is something with Baker Mayfield too. Baker Mayfield is a little bit more on the positive end of using a chip on your shoulder. And that's because Baker he wanted to go to UT Austin, ended up going to Texas Tech. He was a walk-on true freshman, then going to Oklahoma. He's always had that chip on his shoulder. And then him going to the NFL, him going to the Browns, how the Browns treated him, Panthers when he was lining up at DN, and then he went to the Rams, and his whole story is amazing of how he's able to bounce back. And the thing is, JJ was a 5-star quarterback even before he transferred to IMG Academy. Was a 5-star dude. He was the prince that was promised at Michigan, wins the national championship in Michigan, and then he's a top 10 overall pick with the Vikings. So
how do you manufacture that chip on your shoulder as a top?
Yes, when you're kind of always anointed as the guy. But when I say about emotions, that means you get really high highs. So you get that fourth quarter out of JJ. You get that second half out of JJ. But you can easily have a full game of fourth quarter JJ, but you can also have a full game of first half JJ too, where emotions can get the best of you, and it could be a reason why you lose games as well too. I think for his welcome to the NFL moment to only be 1 to 2 quarters, I'm really commending KOC on handling that. And because a lot of coaches would just keep going with their game plan. It's going to work, and be stubborn. For KOC to adapt and trust a guy that this is his first NFL start, to be like, all right, I'm going to let the dude fly and see what he got. If we lose this game because I went out and let him showcase his abilities, I'm okay with taking that on the shoulder, because he at least did everything that I asked him of. So very positive outlook if I was a Vikings fan. The only two major concerns, like I said, is hopefully the offensive line does gel down the line and the running game as well too. Like I just think that it's going to be. I don't know if they're going to have 1,000-yard back on that squad.
Yeah. Just to wrap it up. There was an article that came out in the Athletic, I think in the spring, that was centered around the development of young quarterbacks in this league. And KOC was quoted, organizations fail quarterbacks more than quarterbacks fail organizations.
Mm-hmm.
And they've done absolutely everything in their power to set up JJ McCarthy for success. And that team being built so well and just being there for McCarthy to take advantage of, it was on full force, and McCarthy was able to take full advantage of it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, when we get into these long-term projections of this 2024 draft class, right? Caleb Williams has lost to 3 out of the 5 first-round picks. We don't need to get into that too much. But I do want to caution. This is obviously an amazing start. We've eaten crow. This guy can play in the league. He's
Mm-hmm.
going to be in the league for a little while if this was an indicator of anything. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves because we look at a guy like Drake May, right? In New England, set up for almost failure.
Yeah.
KOC and the Vikings, if you gave them truth serum, they would trade JJ McCarthy for Drake May right now.
You would, yes, you would. 100%.
Actually, probably not to mess up team chemistry, but on draft night, it was well reported that the Vikings were willing to give up 2 and maybe 3 first-round picks to move up and get Drake May. So let's not get twisted about JJ should have been the first, second, third quarterback taken last year in the draft. I don't think that's an argument that you can make. But he is set up for success, and he's taking advantage of it. Both things can be true. And that's all I kind of wanted to say about it.
Yeah, it's like I said, the 3 main points, if you want to be still pessimistic as a Vikings fan, is
if you want to be pessimistic as haters, because we obviously came in with what are you people talking about? And we're seeing the vision a little bit, but some people are going to refuse. So if we're gonna try to feed both sides of the aisle here, what are you gonna give the naysayers today?
So if like, for instance, Bears fans, the biggest concern that if you want to say anything about this first sample size, like one, I'll give it an A for JJ on his grade on game 1, because you handled adversity, you came back from adversity, and you won. That's what you want from your quarterback, and you're the reason why they won. The concern is, one, I don't like the Bears this year. And because at the end of the day, this is a Caleb's make or break year. He has the talent, they have the talent, but like closing out games is like you're going to be on the wrong side of 1-score games a lot, and then you're ended up now you're back picking in the top 5, top 10 again, and it's because they are relatively doing the same thing the Vikings are doing. They're trying to set up Caleb Williams for success. You got your OC now. We got this great defense. We added weapons for you. What's the deal? And that is kind of the big concern is how much was it a Bears loss and a Vikings win? And offensive line for the Vikings that showed a little bit of promise in the fourth quarter. They played well when it mattered most. And the bigger concern on the Viking side of things would be how many teams outside of the run game, how many teams would take advantage of that first half compared to the Bears? Because a team like the Packers in your division, if you're playing like that offensively, like
you cannot spot that team a 17-6 lead.
No, because they're going to do more than 17. They'll probably put up 25, or within at least 4 scores or 3.5 scores. Teams like you could legitimate teams like the Eagles, because now that you're in playoff territory, those are the teams that are not going to be able to. They won't let you come back, no matter how hard you try.
The Bengals, the Eagles, obviously on the schedule. The Chargers, the Ravens,
because
the Packers.
Those are the teams. Like when we're talking about, they could win the division. Well, now you're talking about teams that you're going to go against in the Super Bowl or teams you're going against towards the Super Bowl, because all those teams are not going to be like the Bears and let you just come back. And they're also not going to be like the Bears and kick as many field goals as they did, punt as much as they did on that first quarter in the first half. They will take advantage of that. But positive wise, JJ looked absolutely phenomenal. He did everything that we were critical of him, and he passed the test 100%. And I fully am okay with eating crow on that part, because that was my biggest concern, was that.
Right there with you. We'll see how that continues this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
He gets another primetime shot in a big moment against another first round pick from his draft class, Michael Penix Jr., who also
Mm-hmm.
was off to a hot start this week. 21-55. All right. Do we have another thing? Okay.
Top five
So
teams.
who are our top 5 teams after week 1? Obviously there was a lot of big games, a lot of big wins. Do you want to go just tit for tat? Do you want to just drop top 5 and
We
compare?
could do from 5 to 1. So we'll go each other's 5, and then
Okay.
we'll do each other's 4, and then
All right.
3,
Who's
2,
your
and
number 5?
I got the Colts after week
Okay.
1. Colts, you win in that dominating fashion. Was it 7 out of 7 drives ended in points? It's like the first time ever in like since I think like the 60s almost, since that ever happened in the NFL era. It's for them scoring on their first drive ever. I believe that hasn't been done with the Colts since 2006, Peyton Manning. So it's looking really positive. I think they are also an organization that when they didn't need a guy like Anthony Richardson. I think it was really much like, hey, Daniel Jones, don't mess this up. We have a really good squad. We're going to set you up for very good success. Make the right decisions, and we are going to win. And also, them playing against the, I think, worst team in the league as well too really helped them out. I got the Colts because the dominating fashion they won defensively, special teams, offensively, running, passing. Like, I think they're the fifth best. After week 1, they're the fifth best team.
All right. My number 5 is the Minnesota Vikings. You came out there, you whipped ass, divisional rival, big moment.
Mm-hmm.
Your rookie quarterback played amazing. You're my number 5 team. You probably could have been a lot. You probably could have been 4-3-2.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I take things slow. Let's see this build. And if you start out 4-0, you're probably going to be number 2, number 1 in
Mm-hmm.
no time. But you start out number 5. My number 4 is the Los Angeles Chargers. Big win against a division rival, defending AFC champion of like the last 4 years. They absolutely crushed it. They absolutely killed it. You can't bitch too much about anything the Chargers did. Their former first round pick Quentin Johnston looked like a real wide receiver. There are kids in Brazil who think he's
Oh,
Randy
yeah.
Moss.
That is one of the funniest memes from week 1.
Just unbelievable stuff. Justin Herbert looks like an MVP frontrunner, as you said in the last episode.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta really like what you saw out of the Chargers, so they land in my number 4 spot.
My number 4 spot is a team that lost in week 1, the Ravens. I got
Okay.
the Ravens at the number 4 best team in the league. It's outside of the Derrick Henry fumble. I mean, that team looks stupid on offense. Like, they look like, if you said like losing to a Bills team, which is a Super Bowl contending team, I think also Josh Allen is literally making the case that he's the best quarterback in this league this year. And to lose to that team, I mean, the Ravens, they look like they're going to win the division based on how they played against a really good Bills team. The only concern is this Ravens defense, like is pretty non-Ravens like defense as they known throughout their history of that organization. But that's a good loss to have. It is. You lost on the road to Buffalo. Buffalo had to do a tremendous comeback against you. It's I'm going to go with the Ravens at my number 4 spot. I think they're still a legitimate Super Bowl team after that game.
Okay. Unfortunately, all my teams won, so I kind of went in a different direction as you did.
Yeah, that's probably
In
that
mind,
loss.
you had to win week 1 to get into my top 5 for week 1. But that's okay. It makes for different conversations. My number 3 is the Green Bay Packers. Yeah, absolutely. Again, another big division win. You kicked ass. You took names. You put the rest of the division on notice that, oh, hey, like, don't sleep on us. Everybody wants to talk about the Lions and how flashy they are. Everybody wants to talk about the Vikings, how well built they are. Everybody wants to talk about the Bears and how they're going to have this big rebound. The Packers are still the Packers, and they look even better than they did last year. This is setting up to be a really interesting team to follow the rest of the way. So I have the Green Bay Packers at my number 3 spot.
And the way they utilize Michael Parsons, too, getting their new toy and utilizing him. My number 3 is the Chargers. I put the Chargers at number 3. You beat a very good Chiefs team. And the way that you did it, too, because last year, a big concern with Justin Herbert was the passing game. He kind of regressed last year. And I think this year he's going to have an MVP-like level season. He's going to be in the top 3 conversation. And to do it against the number 1 quarterback, and to beat them the way that they did, I'm going to go with the Chargers at number 3 for me.
Who's your number 2?
My number 2 team is going to be the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles, very solid all-around team. Dallas is a little bit better than we probably would have thought early on. I mean, there was a legitimate fight. They closed out a game. It was a divisional opponent. Grinded out game. Jalen Hurts was able to win on the ground game. He did not need to throw the ball. They are also set up very well offensively for many different ways to win games. And this is a definite pivotal moment down the line. The reason why that they're probably going to win the division, or why they may have a first round bye come NFL playoff time. It's just they're a super solid well-rounded team, and they're also former Super Bowl champs.
Yep, my number 2 is the Buffalo Bills. Don't like that they had to have a 15-point comeback. It was real sloppy early. But Josh Allen, in the way only Josh Allen can, put the team on his back and said, I'm taking you guys to the promised land. And he absolutely did that, mustering a 15-point comeback in the final, 5 minutes or whatever it was. That team looks awesome. I hate that my favorite team has to play them twice a year, but that's okay. I love watching Josh Allen. The guy's a freak. And they're at my number 2 spot. Then they could have easily been at my number 1, which belongs to the Philadelphia Eagles for all the reasons you said. Really just sound, structured. There's no hole on that team. There's no holes at all.
Seriously.
You could argue oh, hey, maybe you could have a more explosive tight end, but Dallas Goedert would play for most other teams.
When we're arguing about tight end for your squad, that's how you know you're super well-rounded. And on top of that, the best part about these Eagles team is when they identify a potential hole, they fix it. Like with Tanks Bigsby. Oh, we lost Gainwell. Guess what? We're just going to go get a guy for 5th rounder.
A guy who had 700 yards last year.
And very relatively good guy in a very bad offensive ran Jaguars. My number 1 team is the Bills. The way they came back, Josh Allen is on another back-to-back MVP level type season. He is fully seeing the narrative of Patrick Mahomes. It's Patrick Mahomes. He is no, it's going to be me this year. And the way that they came back, also coming into you still had concerns at wide receiver, offensively, who was Josh going to pass to? And he's making his dudes look like studs.
Coleman is finally realizing his potential.
Yeah, and Josh Allen is setting up that. Josh Allen is doing whatever he can to win games and close out games. He's also been a lot of when the ball's in his hand, he's going to do whatever it takes to win. The only concern, defensively, you can't be putting up 40 fucking points on allowing teams to score 40 points because
it's the Ravens. It's the Ravens.
Yes, but also you spot a team 40. And especially the way they were down bad, you're asking a lot for your team to come back and have those magical moments time and time again, because also Derrick Henry fumbling was a big key pivotal moment in that game. But I think the Bills are super set up to go do a Super Bowl run. It's a solid win, a great comeback win. It is the big concern for them, for me, like I said, is still defensively. Spotting a team 40 points and having to rely on a very, to fumble the ball for Derrick Henry. I'm sure he already talked about that. He's a little bit upset about he let his team down on that part. But I got the Bills number 1.
back-to-back heartbreaker in Buffalo for them out of the two guys who are usually so sure. It's so steady and reliable. Not Mark Henry. God damn it. Mark Andrews last year and Derrick Henry.
And Mark Andrews, who literally didn't even play this game. They were like at all.
And even their backup tight end, Isaiah Likely's got a foot injury. So,
who
are they rolling out with a tight end? Like,
exactly, I don't know.
But unreal. That's our top 5 teams that coming out of week 1. We'll update it as the weeks go on, kind of like your herd hierarchy. All right, what teams need a win in week 2 before we get to our picks? I'll let you pick whichever one you want, and we'll go from there. We have a list.
Gotcha. I think I'm gonna go from least important-ish week 2 win to most important, because it's still because you have a new first-year head coach for the Patriots. I'm gonna go with them probably needing a week 2 win. Like, we need to see.
They absolutely do.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, even though it's not like they're the least important, but it's still, they do need a must-win game. I need to see these improvements that you made off season. You won the off season on the AFC side of things. That was a big notion and everything. And how are you going forward with this Patriot? I need to see this promise of, I mean, Drake, am I going to have to see Drake May throw for 280 almost every game for y'all to try to look decent offensively? I'm going to see how you incorporate more utilizing your running backs and not just a passing game, but I need Ramondre Stevenson or what was it?
He absolutely sucked last week.
Yeah. I need a little bit more diversity in this offense as well, too. I need this defense to really be a Mike Vrabel defense and show up. And I think that's the big thing with the Patriots. I just need to see some progress. I need to see the step up from Gerard Mayo to Mike Vrabel in this rebuilding mode of the Patriots for Drake May.
Yeah, Mike Vrabel said it in his media availability Monday. Like, he does this radio show every Monday morning and just kind of talks about the stuff that happened in the game. And Drake May passing 46 times is not the recipe for Patriots success. And we saw it. 20-13 the final. Should have been 20-10. Yeah, I'm right with you. I think that this is probably like in the top 2 of teams that need a win week 2. Because if they go down to Miami, and I get it, historically not a great place for the New England Patriots to play. Haven't won there since 2019. But this Dolphins team is horrendous. And you're a 1.5 point underdog. So you need to get this win if you're the Patriots. Because if you don't, everybody, like, I was already questioning, like, oh, maybe 10 wins was a lot. People like you, if they lose to the Dolphins, are like, okay, maybe that was too high.
Yeah.
So yeah, they absolutely need this win. Up next, teams that need a win.
I'm gonna go with the Texans. Probably
got into a rock fight with the Rams last week.
Yeah, but the big one, like, the big concern is the 2 biggest question marks we entered into the season for the Texans: your offensive line and also your play calling. Both hot garbage already against this Rams team. Now, the Rams team does look good defensively as well, too, but like this past game, where is it? Like, with the Texans, you have Nico Collins out there. Nico Collins is a legitimate top 5 wide receiver, has the potential to be a top 5 wide receiver. You got Christian Kirk. You spent a significant draft pick on Higgins out there. Like, where is this offense? And on top of that, too, with a very easy, winnable division, like, you need to go out there and stack wins up, because the way the Colts are playing, like, the Texans may not even have double-digit wins by the end of this season, because everybody in their division, even the Titans, looked decent with what they're doing out there. Like, a lot of people written off the Titans because it's, you had the number 1 overall pick. How much of a win total change does Cam Ward do?
And a non-generational QB class. Like,
yeah. And then on top of that, too, with the Texans, I mean, like, the narrative that isn't actually getting talked about enough is CJ Stroud actually regressing more than is it the bad play calling? Is it the bad offensive line? Because the thing is, a lot of people don't understand is I understand that you may say, oh, it's bad play calling. Well, what if it comes down to it's actually a good play call and CJ's not making good decisions? Or is it you're doing a great play call and then he just doesn't have protection, which I never understood the fact that your best offensive lineman, mind you, was getting memed all the hell for all the penalties he was doing, was Laramie Tunsil. And you moved him away to protect your franchise quarterback to go protect another franchise quarterback and look good with the Commanders. So I think it's a must need win for the Texans. You go down 0-2. I mean, the big stat is what 11% of the time. If you're down 0-2, you drop down your playoff chances to 11%.
Yep, since 2023, I think the number is 11.5% of teams that go 0-2 make the playoffs, and I'm sure that most of that number is Bill Belichick and Tom Brady.
Yeah. So
okay.
I'm going to go with the Texans on that one for the second least, one of the biggest, most important team win. They need to get a win in week 2.
I don't have a ton to add to that, so I'll go to the next team. The Detroit
Mhm.
Lions. Obviously got punched in the face at Lambeau. Oh, no ifs, ands, or
Mhm.
buts about it. They just got punched in the face. It happens. Now your guy Ben Johnson over there in Chicago making a homecoming. Is it? Is it a home date? It is. It is a home date at Ford Field for the Detroit Lions. He's coming home with his new band of misfit toys. And you got to show him that you're the reason that you won, not him.
Mhm.
And if you don't, and you let the Bears and you let Ben Johnson kind of walk out of Ford Field with a win, his head holding high, like, yeah, you guys aren't nothing without me, and that's why I stayed in this division, because I knew I could beat you. You got to control that narrative. Yeah, I don't know if I like their odds. As bad as the Bears looked in the second half of Monday Night Football, I
The
still
Lions
like
look
what I
worse.
saw out of that offense in glimpses than I saw anything of what Detroit did on Sunday.
Yeah, the big thing that you can talk about for this matchup is the fact that the Bears it's their first game with their new head coach and their new play calling. So that means you're going to work out kinks because most likely on week 1, like especially when you're getting a newer offense, that takes chemistry. Where defense is kind of like, hey, see guy, go get guy. Like that's how that kind of works out. But I'm going to go with you on that. I mean, the Lions offensively, I mean, yes, Jared Goff can dot it up and he plays really nice, really safe, really accurate quarterback. But where the hell is this run game? Like,
Nowhere to be found.
and mind you, too, like, I like the Packers front 7-ish, like maybe like front 5. I really don't like their linebacker core outside of Quay Walker. I'm not really that big of a fan of their DBs are ass, but like you're telling me that you couldn't use Gibbs in the pass offense like that, that the fact that you couldn't establish any sort of type of threat at a run game is kind of super questionable for me. Super questionable for me. But the only thing that you can really say, it's a divisional opponent and you went on the road. So at the end, the Packers are the Packers. They're a legacy of greatness. It's a really well-run organization. And that's the only kind of positive note you could take on it. But man, oh man, you look piss poor offensively. And losing both of your coordinators, like this Lions team needs to win week 2.
Absolutely. And the last but not least, I believe, last but not least, the Kansas City Chiefs.
One to lose.
They're going and playing the Eagles at
Philadelphia
home.
Eagles.
Oh,
That's why I put them on here because I think you lost to a divisional opponent. That was not a good look because you, especially in that division, how high we praise that. I mean, the Broncos, the Raiders, and the Chargers all won week 1. The Chargers you lost to, so technically you would almost say that's like a 1.5 point game back because it's an in division rivalry, and that means if they win and you lose, like it's even a
you're
bigger.
watching the scoreboard the rest of the season. Yeah.
Yep. And now you're hoping to get into the playoffs with things that you can't control. You need other teams to lose so that way you can win. And that is not a good way to get to the playoffs. The thing is why this is such a must-win game. One, this Eagles team made Patrick Mahomes look like a bitch in the Super Bowl, in the most important game of the year. They're the reason why Travis Kelce didn't get able to propose on the Super Bowl to Taylor Swift. They are a huge reason why there's even concerns that this team is regressing for the Chiefs. And the Chiefs really needed to beat the Chargers week 1 so that way they can at least go up. And if they were coming into the with at least a win against the Eagles, I'm like, okay, I'm okay with them losing here. Maybe they fix things down the line. But dude, you go 0-2 into week 3, and all of a sudden the big narrative is the Chiefs dynasty done? Because if you lose like you did to the Eagles in that Super Bowl and you're down 0-3, you're down 0-2 going into week 3, there's going to be a lot of things. I mean, Travis Kelce is like, I already kind of predicted that he was going to be falling off soon. He is not going to be the elite tight end that he was. I mean, where's your offensive weapons? And I'm not just talking about wide receivers. I know Patrick Mahomes can make some guys look a lot better than they actually are, but this run game is ass for the Chiefs.
Pacheco was nowhere to be found.
Like they really did think going in with Pacheco and Kareem Hunt was a very smart idea, and I think that's really going to bite Andy Reid in the ass. And
now,
I think
if they do go 0-2, they do have a soft landing with the Giants on Sunday Night Football next week. Then it's the Ravens. So
yeah, but then also now we're talking about 1-3 in the first 4 games of the season.
Not like good. I bet you that statistic is even worse than 0-2.
Mm-hmm. Well, and like you said, most of those stats are literally Brady and Belichick led, which is super, like, that's such an asterisk level of like of a stat, because it's like one of the greatest coaches, about the greatest coach in the NFL history and the greatest player in NFL history, or the reason why the stat is the stat. You eliminate them, I bet you was like damn near 0% on both ends. So
then the others are like Joe Montana having an off year or something.
Exactly. And so I think this is probably the biggest must-win game, is that one.
Yeah. All right. Those are your must-win week 2 matchups. Let's get into these picks, shall we? Last week, we tied on all facets. We both got 7 out of 16 on the spread. We gotta do better.
And then our actual tiebreaker, we literally broke the median.
Yeah, we went 10 for 10 or 10 for 16 on the head-to-heads, but our points tiebreaker was literally in the median. So I think going forward, to avoid this, maybe we put a half a point at the end.
Gotcha.
Does that help avoid that conundrum? I don't know, but
that, or we could just keep rolling and see how good we are at splitting down the middle. How me and Caleb.
And it's not like we had the same picks every which way. Like I picked the Chargers, you picked the Chiefs. I picked the Raiders, you picked the Patriots. I picked the Panthers, you picked the Jags. I picked the Jets, you picked the Steelers. Like we weren't the same.
So let's get right into it. What we got on Thursday?
Thursday Night Football. The Washington Commanders travel to Lambeau Field to take on the Green Bay Packers. Both teams 1-0. Both teams coming off of big divisional wins. The Green Bay Packers are 3.5-point favorites. Gerardo, I'll let you go first.
I'm going to get with the Packers, and I think it's going to be the Commanders cover.
Damn, you love splitting the baby on these really low spreads.
Yeah.
I'm taking the Packers both ways.
Gotcha.
I really like what they're doing. I hate to lick the cheese head too much, but like they feel like such a well-run machine. I've always appreciated how they do business in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I've always wanted the Patriots to be a little more like them, but can't have it all. So highly nepotistic in New England. But
the only thing that I would say going about into this game, Washington can really expose their defensive backs this game. Zach Ertz is still a legitimate tight end in this league. Terry McLaurin is eventually going to bust.
If Parsons and Gary can't get pressure, it's going to be a problem.
Yeah, and then also it's a very much a dual threat level quarterback in the NFL. And I think that they are, and Cliff Kingsbury can drop a really good offense, but I'm going to go with, that's why I think that maybe the Commanders lose by 3 on this game. So that's why I have what I have there.
Buffalo is headed to the Meadowlands to take on the Jets, their first AFC East matchup. The Bills are -7 favorites. I'll go first. I'm taking Buffalo to win. And it is a large spread, but I'm going to take the Bills to win by more than 7. Like, I don't know. I just feel like it could have been just week 1 bump that the Jets looked as good as they did with Justin Fields. I think they're going to come crashing down to earth when they meet a familiar foe. I know it's a new staff, a new everything with the Jets, but the Jets are still the Jets, and Josh Allen is still Josh Allen. The Bills are still the Bills. So I'll take the Bills by a touchdown.
I'm going to split the baby on this one. I got the Bills winning, Jets cover. I
All
think
right.
the big reason behind this one is the Ravens running offense looked really well. The Jets running offense looks really well. They have legitimately a quarterback that can run the ball, and they have two solid running backs on that squad. And I think they'll probably lose by 6, maybe like 2 field goals.
All righty. Let's go to Miami. Another AFC East bout. The Patriots are headed to South Beach to take on the Dolphins. Both teams 0-1. Both teams need a win. The Dolphins are 1.5 favorites, Gerardo.
Yeah, listen, if this team is the worst team in the league, I mean, it's really hard to go defeated as much as it is to go undefeated. You would think that this is probably their one time that they would get a solid win early on, but I got Patriots upsetting and winning.
I am pessimistic in nature. Give me the Dolphins. This team hasn't won in Miami since 2019. They've lost to worse teams than this one. Um, I don't see it. I don't see it with this offense. They haven't made enough progress for me to have faith that they can beat anybody. So I'll pick the Dolphins in South Beach. And hopefully I'm wrong. And hopefully my biases outweigh, but I'm like, is it really unbiased if I just keep picking against my team? Like, I don't know. Um, all right. The San Francisco 49ers. It's going to be odd because we don't know the injury status of Brock Purdy. They're traveling to New Orleans to take on the Saints, where the 49ers are 4.5-point favorites. I'm going to assume that Brock Purdy's going to play. I'm not going to be a weenie and change my pick like when it comes out tomorrow that he's out, because we record this on Tuesday. But I'll take the Niners by 4.5.
I got the 49ers winning by more than 4.5. I don't like this Saints team. I don't care if it's Brock Purdy, and I don't care if it's Mac Jones. This Saints team sucks.
All right. The New York Giants are headed to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. Both teams 0-1. Dallas, a really impressive 0-1. The Giants, kind of what we expected 0-1. Russell Wilson is expected to play, be the starter. Dallas is coming in looking a little better than we thought they would. So, Gerardo.
What's the point spread? What's Dallas favored by?
-6.5 for Dallas.
Give me Dallas to beat. I'll take Dallas, and they're going to be more than probably like 7 or 10 points.
Yeah. If the Giants showed any kind of fight against Washington whatsoever, I'd look at this and be like, in division, big spread, gotta take it. But don't like what I saw. So
yeah,
Cleveland is headed to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. Both teams 0-1. Both teams had a hard fought loss in different facets. The Baltimore Ravens scored the hell out of the ball and just couldn't get that extra point. And the Cleveland Browns absolutely slowed the game down for Joe Burrow and the Bengals. Made life hell for them. Lost by 1. Both teams coming off of 1-point losses. Isn't that interesting? Baltimore is 12.5-point favorites. I'm taking Baltimore to win, but screw that line, dude.
Oh, yeah, same here. Next subject. 12.5? Golly, I mean,
in division, a division known for the last place team playing the first team hard as hell. That is the antithesis of AFC North football. Bet the Browns to cover that, and 100%. Don't think twice.
Yep.
Don't think twice. We'll eat crow if we're wrong. We've shown that we do that.
Yeah, so same thing. I'm with you on that pick.
Well, then I'll let you kick off this one. The Rams are headed to Tennessee to take on your boy Cam Ward and the Titans. The Rams are 5.5-point favorites.
Give me I'm gonna go with Rams win, but I think I'm gonna upset alert. I'm gonna take the Vikings. I'm gonna take the Titans to win.
Really?
I'm gonna have Cam Ward has his he's welcome to the NFL moment. Like, he is going to show that why he was the number 1 overall pick.
I'm taking the Rams both ways. You Titans gotta show me a little more. Like Denver could have just had an off week. Need you to put these things together before I really buy into you. Especially when you lost. Like the Vikings, you can say, "Oh, well, you bought into them so early." Well, it's
They
how
won
they
at
won.
least.
It's
Yeah.
how they won. The Jaguars are heading to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. Both teams 1-0. The Bengals are 3.5-point favorites. I am taking the Bengals both ways.
I'm going to take the Bengals to win only by a field goal. So I'm going to split that one.
Damn. All righty. Seattle headed to Pittsburgh. Take on Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers are 3-point favorites at home. Seattle's coming off the loss against San Fran. The Steelers coming off the big win against the Jets. Gerardo, where are you going?
Steelers, and they're going to win by more than 3. The Steelers offense looks sick. And I think Seattle should have won. They needed that week 1 win a whole lot more than they did. I need a little bit more consistency on the run game offensively for the Seahawks as well too. But like this Steelers offense is sick with Aaron. Like he's looking like the man out there.
I'll take the Seahawks. I'm not super duper confident about it, but I just feel like they're going to play with a chip on their shoulder. And the Steelers just have this way of losing weird games over the course of the year. This feels like a weird game that they lose. So I'll take the Steelers pulling off the upset on the road. The Bears are headed to what's that?
Yeah, the Seahawks do upset. You said Steelers, but yeah.
Yeah. The Bears are headed to Ford Field to take on the Lions. 0-1, lost to division rivals. How are they going to settle? The Lions are 4.5-point favorites. I'm going to take Detroit. It's going to bite me in the ass, I think. But the Bears haven't shown me any reason to really believe in them. Like, sure, hot start. Caleb Williams looks like he has all the tools in the world. But he's got a fastball, but that dude can't hit the strike zone sometimes. I'll take what I know Detroit can be over what I think the Bears can be. So I'll take Detroit by 4.5. Yeah.
I'm going to go with Detroit, and I think they are probably only going to win by 3. So I'm going to split the baby on this one.
The Carolina Panthers are headed to the desert, take on the Arizona Cardinals. Panthers 0-1, got absolutely blasted by the Jaguars. Cardinals 1-0, beat the Saints. The Cardinals are 6.5-point favorites. Gerardo, where are you going?
Give me Cardinals to win on both ways. I think the Cardinals are going to win by more than that. I do not like this Panthers team at all. I do not.
Despite me not liking this Panthers team at all, I will take them to cover. Arizona's going to win, but Arizona doesn't blow teams out. They let the Saints be within 7, and we both think the Panthers are better than the Saints. So I'll have them winning by like 4-3. 6.5 is a large line, especially for a Cardinals team that just doesn't blow people out like that. The Denver Broncos are headed to Indianapolis to take on the Daniel Jones-led Colts. Broncos kind of need a prove-it win because they let the Titans kind of take them to a rock fight. And the Colts, they're obviously coming off a big win against Miami, 33-8. Good God. Broncos are 2.5-point favorites.
Are they at the Colts?
They're at Indy, yep, and the Denver Broncos are 2.5-point favorites. I'm gonna take Denver. I just think they're a well-oiled machine over there. Both ways.
This is such a conundrum because Denver didn't look good week 1, but they are a solid team. But the Colts absolutely slaughtered a really bad team, and it's like, what am I choosing?
Where are you gonna meet in the middle? Yeah.
Yeah. What am I? And they're only a 2.5-point favorite, right?
Yep. Denver is only a 2.5-point favorite. Yep. Who's winning the Peyton Manning Bowl?
Well, the team that Peyton Manning likes more. I'm gonna go with the Denver Broncos, and they're gonna win by more than 2.5. I think it'd be like a field goal or maybe a touchdown on this one.
All right, game of the week, Super Bowl rematch. The Eagles headed to Arrowhead to take on the Chiefs in their home opener. The Eagles are 1.5-point favorites. How many times have the Chiefs
Ooh,
been underdogs at home?
that I do not know.
Where are
That's
you
crazy.
going with this, Gerardo? Where are you going with this?
The Chiefs have to win, right? They have to win this game. I'm gonna go with the Chiefs at home. It's Arrowhead. You may have chalked in their loss going up to Brazil. Like that's really awkward to go play at a different time zone, also different area, very unfamiliar, and you're now back at home. You know, Taylor Swift's gonna be there. They need to prove that because they cannot go 0-2. They cannot go down 0-2. I'm gonna give the Chiefs to go up there and
I'm
win
taking the
this.
Eagles. I'm
I
taking the
don't
Eagles.
blame you. I don't blame you. I wouldn't be upset if you took them.
That's super. Neither of these teams have changed all that much since the Super Bowl.
Well, I would say that probably the Chiefs regress.
Yeah, the Chiefs arguably got worse. So I'll take the Eagles. They're an ass kicking machine.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they just love being the team that punches the Chiefs in the face. I think they get off on that. Like they're putting all of their combined efforts into winning this game. So I will take the Eagles. Sunday Night Football, Atlanta at Minnesota. Michael Penix Jr. versus JJ McCarthy. The Vikings are 6.5-point favorites. I'll go
God,
first. I'm splitting the baby. I'm taking Minnesota to win, Atlanta to cover.
Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to that. I'm gonna go with that too. 6.5 is a lot, especially what I saw from them. If you would have blown out the Bears, like if you would have done like 31 to like 10 or like 31-20, sure.
Yeah.
But this, this Atlanta team is no joke. They almost beat the Bucks.
For sure. I 100% agree. Tampa Bay, they have a Monday night doubleheader.
Mm-hmm.
Tampa Bay is headed to Houston to take on the Texans. The Texans are 2.5-point favorites. I'm taking the Buccaneers.
Yeah, Buccaneers upset.
This shouldn't even be considered an upset. Like this line is stupid.
Yeah, I would even say that the Bucks should be favored in this game.
They should be.
I would give them a 2.5-point favorite, and I would still take the Bucks both ways.
Yeah, for sure. All right, remember to give me a score on this one, Gerardo.
Gotcha.
The Los Angeles Chargers are headed to Vegas to take on the Raiders. The Chargers are 3.5-point favorites. Both teams 1-0. Where are you going with this one?
Give me this one's a little bit of conundrum. I would say give me the Chargers to win a nice little 30-piece, 31-27.
That makes 58. And you got them covering, yeah. 31-28, you said?
27.
Oh, so the Raiders cover. I'm gonna take the Chargers, just better quarterback. That's really what it comes down to in games this close on paper. I'm taking the better quarterback every time, and as we've said, Justin Herbert is going to be an MVP candidate.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll take the Chargers. I'll take them by more than 3.5. Give me the Chargers 24-17, 41 points.
I want to know what the advanced stats would be of Pete Carroll versus Harbaugh. I would like to know like how their head-to-head matchups were on the Seahawks versus 49ers, because that would actually be an interesting
Pete Carroll is 5-4 against Jim Harbaugh.
Okay, so we're literally like almost down the line
in the NFL. Harbaugh has beat him in USC 2-1.
Yep, that's going to be a very interesting game.
Monday night doubleheader. It's actually so late that like when I come home Monday night, actually I'll be on vacation. I'll get to watch it. There we go. All right, so those are your week 2 picks. Want to give me a lock?
Let's see. What would be my lock?
A lock and an upset? Your upset's Tennessee over the Rams.
Yeah, I would say that. My upset is going to be Tennessee over the Rams. Week 2, lock of the week. I am going to go with Cowboys probably beating Giants. That's a good one right there. That I would give you 2. Cardinal beat Panthers, and I'm going to go with Cowboys beating Giants.
Yep. Do I have any like big upsets? I guess Seattle over Pittsburgh is considered an upset. And the lock. Tampa over Houston.
Not a bad one.
I don't respect Houston right now.
I don't. I mean,
their offense anyway.
Their offensive, their defense is elite. Their defense is legit. But the biggest problem with the defense, if your offense can't put W's on the can't put points on the board, guess what? You're not going to get W's on your schedule. Like the only other ones that you would want to talk about, like if you really wanted to make like a parlay, give me Cardinals over Panthers, give me Bengals over Jags, and give me Cowboys over Giants.
All right, so that would be bad.
And same thing with like Rams even not for me, but if you want to take Rams over Titans too, wouldn't be a bad 4-game pick 'em 4-game parlay on locks. Because
I was only one more time so I can throw it in the machine.
So here. Cardinals beating the Panthers.
Cardinals. Okay.
Give me Bengals to beat the Jags.
Yep.
Rams to beat the Titans.
But you picked the Titans.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying for people, if they were going to do like a 4-game parlay, like I did.
No, if they're going to follow you, they're picking the Titans.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, but no, then just do Cowboys Giants.
And then Cowboys Giants.
Now, last week I was only off by 1 game.
If you put $100 in a Gerardo's parlay, you get $878.24 payout.
Really? That's like more than double what almost double what last week was. Last week was 4 games.
It's Cardinals money line, Bengals money line, Titans money line, Cowboys money line.
Oh,
those
Titans,
4.
That's a big one. Yeah, Titans. Why? That's why.
Those 4 pay $100, get $878.24.
I'll do a last minute audible. I'll get rid of the Titans one and just put the 49ers and Saints.
Okay, if you want to follow Gerardo's less fun parlay.
Yeah, this is a little bit more of a log.
You want to go with the locks of the week. You put $100 into this one, which is Cardinals money line, Bengals money line, Cowboys money line, 49ers money line. Put in $100, you get a $434.27 payout.
Yeah, about right. Last week, the only game I was wrong about on the parlay was the Seattle Seahawks and 49ers. I had the Cardinals winning. I had who said I have? I believe I had the Cardinals winning. I had I think it was the Colts winning. Because the only game that I got wrong was the Seattle Seahawks and 49ers game. Oh, and the Commanders beating Giants. I probably had that one too because I thought that was like a 100%.
Yeah.
Going to be a lot.
Alrighty. Well, that's your NFL episode. We'll be back as you're watching this on Wednesday. Thursday, we'll be back with our college football show. Got a lot of featured matchups for you. We're going to let the week kind of marinate and try to pull up some featured stories for you. But yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you follow the show on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. And yeah, enjoy your week.
Adios.